What's up, folks, out here at Duck Creek Wildlife Refuge area near Puxico, Missouri. Me and my dog, my fishing dog, Finley. What's up, Finley? Say hi to the crowd. Aw, yeah. She's ready to get out there and catch some fish. Haven't been here in a long time. We got cypress trees. That's a beautiful building. I didn't know this was going up. The Clifford Gaylord Memorial Wildlife Laboratory here at Duck Creek. Wonder what that's all about. If you guys watching this, you know anything about that, let me know. Leave it in the comments section. And we got clear water, and we got grass, and we got lily pads. It's a jungle out there, folks. And we're gonna say shallow. There's no points. This is just a big rectangular lake. You know, it's flat, shallow, 1,800 acre lakes, or 1,800 acre lake. There's a little channel that goes around the outside of it, but it's just basically what's in front of you and grass flats. That's not good. Just got a report from the local bank fisherman. He said they ain't biting. Said he's been here for a couple hours, caught one bluegill, one turtle, and the snakes are really thick. Talked to a couple guys that are bass fishing. They said they've caught 2 bass, been here since 6:30 this morning. And these snakes are thick. Check this out. There's snakes swimming around everywhere out here. I've just been kind of seeing them. See those little ripples on the water? Those are snakes. They're thick. I'm glad I'm gonna be out in the boat and not walking the bank, because there's riprap all the way around this thing. And you know how snakes like riprap. Big old bluegill. Wet ear. Big one. There he is. Damn pike. Ugly thing. Yeah, ugly thing. It's a pretty big one. Oh, God. There we go. It's a good fish. Very good fish. Good solid fish. Oh, he came off. Gosh dang it. I knew that was gonna happen. He's barely hooked. Just on that limit out compact swim jig by Cumberland Pro in the bluegill's color. That fish was barely hooked. There he is. Oh, pike. Look at that fin. That thing is nasty. Ugh. Yeah, guys, this lake is full of these chain pickerel. Nasty, skinny looking thing. It's like an anorectic's arm. Ate that jig though. I just had another bite with him. Do not lip these. Just a PSA. Been throwing a menace on this swim jig, and I switched to a rage crawl for a couple reasons. The wind picked up, so it's got a little more action, and I can also keep it up higher in the water column and swim it slower. So I'm just kind of experimenting around with this trailer. If I don't get bites on this here in another 10-15 minutes, I will put that menace back on because I've already got a couple bites on it. Things are nasty. God, it's tough out here, guys. It's extremely tough. I gotta go. It's about all I caught. I mean, I had 1 3-pounder get off. I had a couple of dinks get off, and a couple of these nasty suckers. Hey, that's a wrap on the video, guys. If you appreciate the content, give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you have not. It's a pretty tough day out there. That's kind of how Duck Creek can be. Talked to some buddies of mine that were fishing a tournament, and their bass club keeps 1 fish, and it took a fish that was less than 3 pounds to win that day. Couple things I'll tell you about Duck Creek. First of all, it's got a ton of vegetation, and in the summertime, it's almost impossible to get around out there. There's a little bit of a channel around the outside of it, and they'll cut a few boat lanes through the middle to get out there. This year, tons and tons and tons of grass and lily pads. It's really grown up. Another thing I'll tell you is, if you can go on an overcast day, there's a couple of feeding windows. Early in the morning, you can usually get bites, and then in the evening. But if you go down there on a day when it's just bluebird skies, it's almost impossible. If you got a little wind, you might have a chance. But if you can go down there on one of those kind of overcast, misty type days, it can be some really good fishing. You know, I've had a lot of good days down there. This wasn't really one of them. I caught a few fish, but missed a few fish. It was just tough fishing. But when I have had success, there's a couple baits that have worked for me. Let me share them with you. A lot of times, you know, you can get a frog bite. You can get like a horny toad bite or a rivet bite, or just a hollow belly frog. Just a black frog or a white frog. Keep it simple. One of these will work if there is a frog bite going on. Another thing that I've had good success with on Duck Creek is a June bug speed crawl or a June bug speed worm or Cinco. With the speed worm, it's got the little Ultra Vibe speed flipper thing on there. You can take that off and make basically like a Cinco out of it. But June bug is a really good color because in clear water, grass lakes, a lot of the fish are really dark. So those red ear, the crappie, they're really dark, and June bug just represents that dark forage fish better than most colors. Of course, green pumpkin will work. And on this day, I caught a few fish on a swim jig. Just a green pumpkin swim jig has done really good in that lake for me in the past. I'll put a little Zoom speed crawl on there, or whatever kind of crawl trailer you like, but just kind of compact, green pumpkinish, bluegill kind of colored swim jig will get you some bites down. I'll leave links to the products that I mentioned, so if you're interested in them, you can go and check them out. A few other baits. I'll do a lot of punching down there. I like just a beaver style bait, or I'll put a rage crawl on there, but a lot of times you're gonna have to bump up to 1 1/4 ounce, maybe even 1.5 ounces, 50-pound braid, or like a 7'11" rod, something that's got some tip to it, but it's also got some backbone. You can definitely spend several days punching that lake and not hit the same stretch more than once. One other bait that will get you some bites down there is a chatterbait. I usually stick with the green pumpkin as well. You can see kind of a green pumpkin June bug theme here, but just a traditional chatterbait, bladed jig, whatever brand you like, is going to get you some bites. Just kind of cruising around the outside of the grass line and throwing through the pads and just working it however you can get it through the grass. There's a lot of chain pickerel on that lake, so you will lose some baits a lot of times. Sometimes you'll just feel a bite, you'll set the hook, and nothing. It's just air. They bite, you know, they slice your bait off. That's just part of it. But great lake, if you haven't been down there, check it out. It's fun. It's, you know, one more thing. If it's windy, if you've got wind over, geez, probably 7 miles an hour. It's definitely 10 miles an hour is that threshold. It's really flat down there. It's wide open. So if you've got a lot of wind, you're gonna have a rough day out there. You cannot get out of it. You'll have to fish whichever side the wind's blowing out of. And the south side is the area that's the deepest. If you go to the north side, it's literally like a foot deep for acres and acres and acres. So you really can't fish that if you've got wind blowing out of the south. As far as bank fishing and kayak fishing, it's an excellent lake to do that. You can get around pretty much the whole lake and fish off of the bank. You know, it's pretty clean. You've got riprap, you got gravel road all the way around it. Kayakers, same thing. You can get up in those pads and stuff where the boats with trolling motors cannot get, and you can dip that, you know, dip around those pads with a crappie rod or whatever. You're going to catch some fish. It's got a lot of good red ear in there. It's got good crappie in there. Just, it's a pretty good lake, you know, but sometimes it's tough just like any other lake. I'd like to remind you real quick that I'm dropping content on Wednesdays and Fridays, and I do a live stream on Monday nights at 7:30 Central. So if you're not busy on a Monday night, come check it out. It's a great time. I got a lot of special guests, and you can get on there and interact with them live.